A large part of building any brand is, the core of who you are and what your brand represents.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people out there that are marketing things that they don't actually live. And I'm not one of those
Yeah.
people. And I think that the most successful businesses out there are the ones that are brilliant at the basics. What do you do well? And execute that at a high level.
Thaddeus Bullard was our guest today, and boy, was it a journey. You may know him as Titus O'Neil from the WWE. Thad grew up in a very impoverished situation. His mother was 11 when she was pregnant, and she was a victim of a sexual assault. He was a very young man, had inconsistent food or housing. The system had decided on Thad long before the dice was actually cast. He'd be in jail or dead by the age of 16. Well, fortunately, some other folks in his life didn't agree, and Thad came to not agree over time. It took him some time. Eventually, he became a top recruit and went to the University of Florida to play football for Coach Spurrier. And while he was there, he also served as the vice president of the student body. That's a truly unique story for a football player. It's a 40-hour-a-week job. Having done it myself, I know, and being the VP of the student body is an incredible experience. He played briefly in the Arena League, but then moved quickly to the professional wrestling world and created a transcendent character. We'll call him a brand, Titus O'Neil. A lot of folks still know him as that today, but that's not why I had that in. I didn't really lean in much to the wrestling story. Really focus more on what's happening here in this region, what he's built. The foundation that he has, the Bullard Family Foundation, has touched thousands of lives. There's a school here that bears his name, and what he did there is incredible. He's helped hundreds of college athletes or high school athletes getting into college. He's a prolific investor in the business community. He's really, really well known as a philanthropist. And, his personality blocks out the sun. This is a story about what happens when someone who's been given so little spends their entire life giving everything they have and more. And there's a lesson in here to every business owner in the audience. And it's about purpose and it's about identity and what you build when the scoreboard gets turned off. This is an incredibly enjoyable episode because Thad's journey is so unique. I hope you enjoyed the ride as much as I did. Thad, thanks for coming in today. Appreciate you taking the time. I know you're about the busiest guy in town. And this is already the longest I've seen you sitting.
Yeah.
So I've seen you around town quite a bit over the last year or so, and you're always on the move. And we're gonna talk about that. But appreciate you taking the time. So let's start with the beginning. Your origin story is probably the most fascinating part of your journey.
Mm-hmm.
So I know you grew up with a young mother.
Yes.
You were food insecure. That's the latest term now.
Yeah,
I think hungry is what we called it when we were kids.
Starving.
Didn't know where you were going to be. And I hate to joke about this.
No. I mean, it is a reality. I'm a product. I wouldn't say a product. My mother had me under unfortunate circumstances. She was raped at 11 years old, had me at the age of 12, against the wishes of many. She was driven from St. Augustine, Florida, down to Boynton Beach, Florida, to have an abortion, and refused to do it. And, months later I was born. And so clearly, my mom was a kid raising kids, and very difficult, moving from place to place, not knowing, if you're going to be sleeping on a pallet on the floor, sleeping in a bed with like 2 or 3 other people, or on a couch or whatever. But that was my life for a good part of my young adult life. I was labeled a kid that would be dead or in jail by the time I was 16 because I was a very angry kid for multiple reasons. And the abuse, the poverty, the inability to do things that I felt like any child should be able to do freely. And so, yeah, me and my mom had a really difficult relationship. I have 3 younger brothers. And I went to a place called the Florida Sheriff's Boys Ranch up in Live Oak, Florida. And that place changed my life forever. Most importantly, a conversation that I had at 12 years old when I was getting ready to get kicked off of the boys' ranch. I had just signed a contract that I wouldn't get into another fight because that was my first response. Every cottage that I went to, is 9 cottages on campus. I got kicked out of 7 of them right out of the gate for
Wow.
fighting.
Yeah.
And Mr. Patrick Minogue was the boys' ranch regional president at the time. Called me into the office after I signed this contract. Said I wouldn't get into a fight. 30 minutes later, I got into a fight. They had this big meeting, and the meeting concluded that I would be sent back home to Boynton Beach, Florida, back with my mom. Well, at that time, me and my mom had a horrible relationship. You know, I actually hated my mom during that time period because of all the things that I had to endure as a kid, and part of that was, in my opinion, her fault. And he sat me down. He said, "Why do you think you get into trouble all the time?" I had my head down and I said, "I don't know, man. I'm just a bad kid." He said, "Pick your head up." He said, "There's no such thing as a bad kid." And I said, "How can you say that? I've been told I'd be dead or in jail by the time I was 16. I'll never graduate from high school. I'll never graduate from college," which at that time, nobody in my family had done. And he said, "I'm not going to give you the answer to that because I truly believe in my heart that you're going to turn things around and you're going to figure the answer out for yourself. In the meantime, I'm going to tell you something and I want you to believe it." He said, "I love you and I believe in you." A lot of people had told me that they love me and then turn around and abuse me, beat me, curse me, etc. But nobody ever told me that they believed in me. It was always what I can't do, what I won't be, how I'll never amount to anything. And that for me changed the trajectory of my mindset. You know, I've always had a very rebellious mindset, even to this day. Don't tell me what can't be done.
Right.
Don't tell me what I can't do. Don't tell me what other people can't do. Tell me what you won't do or why you won't help them do it. And so, you know, that conversation helped change literally my mindset, but also the trajectory of my life. You know, I went from being a kid that was an underperforming kid in school to being a, honors kid and one of the top recruits in the country. I could have went to any school in the country, and I chose the University of Florida. Go Gators! And
That's an incredible trajectory, right? So
mhm.
you're on a really difficult path, and you meet a man who just flips a script on you.
Mhm.
Who is this gentleman?
Patrick Minogue.
Okay.
Yeah, he unfortunately passed away in 1997.
Hmm.
But he did get a chance to watch me walk across the high school graduation stage. He was there on the signing day when I
Okay.
signed to go to the University
Yeah.
of Florida. He was there the first time I was in an actual game at the University of Florida playing against Tennessee, getting a chance to sack
Wow.
Peyton Manning
Yeah.
in my freshman year. I was pretty excited about that.
Wow. Wow.
And so he passed away shortly
Mm.
after. But, you know, I think in life, a lot of times we look at certain people's stories and we like, man, that's some rough stuff. And then I look at other people's stories that I'm helping today, and they're either mirroring what I went through or they're actually worse. And I'm like, if this is the greatest country in the world, why are kids and families dealing with this type of stuff?
That's a great question.
You know? And so it made me at a younger age question whether or not this, and I'm obviously very supportive of our military, very supportive of our first responders, our law enforcement agents, like everybody. Like I have the utmost respect for those jobs. They're doing jobs I know for a fact I couldn't do. Or I wouldn't say I couldn't do. I don't want to
Right.
do.
Right.
You know?
I'm sure you could handle
Yeah.
the task, but yeah.
And so also my time in WWE.
Let's take a pause because I want to make sure we get Florida in a little bit because there's a lot of rich content here that we're going to try and pack in. So you got to Florida. Coach Spurrier is there.
Yes.
This guy's a legend. I mean,
Yes.
he is a unique cat.
Yeah.
I know you played defense, and Coach Spurrier is an offensive innovator, genius. Just talk about what you learned from Coach Spurrier, whether it's from sort of culture building or just how to live your life in a unique way.
Well, Coach Spurrier normally in the recruiting process only went and spoke to offensive guys, particularly quarterbacks.
Yeah.
He came to Live Oak, Florida, a small town in North Florida, and asked me to come be a part of what he was building and had built at the University of Florida. Now, Bobby Bowden also came to my place in Live Oak. Philip Fulmer from Tennessee.
Oh, sure.
Ohio State.
Yeah.
Notre Dame. Lou Holtz.
Yeah.
You know, the list goes on and
yeah.
on of legendary coaches that were recruiting me and coming to my small high school to speak with me. Coach Spurrier was probably the most in line with what kind of mentality I have. Like, people don't realize how competitive Coach Spurrier really is. Like, if he's shooting marbles, he wants to win. You know,
he was a Heisman Trophy winner. I mean, he's a competitive guy.
Yeah, and I mean, in everything, and that's infectious to me. You know, I like being around winners. I like being around people that feel like they can win at any moment. And he was hanging up 50 on people, and it didn't care about who got mad. You know, there was no worries about him being dubbed as a guy that didn't have sportsmanship. He's like, hey, you know, I coach my guys up just like everybody else does. And if I put my second and my third string guys in and they're doing the same thing that my first string guys are, that's on you. That's not on me.
Yeah, exactly.
Either get better players or call better plays.
Right.
One of the two.
Right.
So, but, you know, I have a very special relationship with Coach Spurrier. I mean, he unretired his jersey for me to wear, number 11.
Incredible.
And Ben Hanks was another player that he did that for. And similarly with Ben, our backstories were what led us to be able to wear that number. And if there's anything if anybody ever wanted to ask me, like, what's the best thing that I enjoyed about playing for Coach Spurrier, aside from just winning football games, it's just being in a culture where family was important. Coach Spurrier was not one of those guys that was going to be up there at 11, 12 at night. You know, he tried to get his work get in, and he also wasn't there at 6 a.m. You know, some of his staff might have been there for workouts or whatever. He might creep in here and there, but 8:30. He had a very family friendly schedule, you know, for his coaches, and I felt and Jerry was always around. His wife Jerry, she made cookies for everybody on their birthday. The best chocolate chip cookies to this day. And they're like this big. And just the family environment that he created made you want to be a Gator. You know, the winning was amazing. The atmosphere is amazing. Playing in the swamp is amazing. But just knowing that you got a chance to win every football game because you got a guy that's he's gonna do everything possible to make sure that you're winning football games.
Yeah.
And
a unique mind. I mean, incredibly unique,
and just
offensive
quirky
mind.
and like don't care how people feel when he says certain things. Knows how to needle folks. He knew how to needle Tennessee every year, Georgia every year.
It feels like Lane Kiffin got some of his script right from Coach Spurrier. You know, just took it a little further at times.
Yeah. But I mean, if you're backing it up, like it's another thing, you know.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons why I really love the head coach at Indiana, because he's also family first guy.
Yes.
And his practices are 90 minutes long. You know, he doesn't believe in having people in and out, and coaches are gone by 6 at the latest probably.
Signetti is just, I don't know how they manufactured him. I know he came from the Saban tree, but Mike, that guy is just incredible what he's done in at 2 schools now. So everyone knows you were a great football player. You played at Florida. They may not know that you were student body vice president, which is incredible as a football player. I played football in the 1AA level. It's a huge commitment.
Yeah.
And to do that while I think you had, multiple majors. I mean, how did you find the time? What motivated you to go and do that at the same time at one of the best schools in the world, a huge school? That's a huge lift and a great accomplishment.
Yeah. Well, it also is a reason why I'm not involved in politics to this day.
There you go. And you could be.
Yeah. No, actually, I mean, I couldn't. I think that
you could win an election. I
could win an election.
You certainly could.
But I think you know, my process of running for office. I mean, we spent more money for my campaign for a student government race than it cost. We spent like 5 times more than what it cost to run for the mayor of Gainesville.
Wow.
And many of the people that were in student government with me are still in politics to this day.
I believe it. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, like Nikki Fried,
Oh, yeah.
who ran against, you know, Ron DeSantis and was former state agriculture head. She worked with me.
Wow.
Uh, former state attorney here, who is now our senator,
yeah.
Ashley Moody,
Mm-hmm.
worked with me. And all these people are in Florida Blue Key with me and this and that. But once I started realizing like how the process works about who they pick to slate for cabinet, for Senate, for all these things, I learned all that stuff at UF. And it's just like, I don't really want to be in on that part of it, but I do want to be on the part of like, if I say that I'm going to do something, like we better freaking do it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And we had the best year ever at the University of Florida. I mean, I wanted more diverse acts. I brought Snoop Dogg there. I brought Outkast there,
Wow.
Ludacris there. We had the first ever presidential, first time both candidates that were running for president on campus,
Wow.
Gore and Bush, did a debate on campus. We promised more transportation for students, because I didn't like the fact that folks were going downtown and drinking and et cetera, and,
right.
and they had to get in a car and
Yeah.
get in an accident. So we still have this service to this day. Both of my sons are at Florida now, and Later
Wow.
Gators still goes on.
That's awesome.
It's the shuttle service that we started when I was in office. I go and I see the Harn Museum and all the things that they've, you know, upgraded. I mean, there were times where we were talking about closing down the Harn Museum. You know, the Bat House, which was another place where near Lake Alice at Florida, where people were talking about, well, we shouldn't have this and that. Yeah, and it's like we fought for it to stay, and now it's like still a signature site on campus. The Rights Union, we were wanting this improvements, and now if you go to the Rights Union, like student government has the entire floor. Before we had a few offices on the floor. Now they have an entire floor.
Wow.
You know, I go there and my name is on the wall for 2 different reasons. One, as the vice president of student government, and then another reason because I'm in the University of Florida Hall of Fame. So it's like, how did I make time for that? It was more so the why. The why was I've never wanted to be just a football player. You know, football is what I did for a living. It's not who I am for a living. And I felt the same way with anything, the same way with WWE. You know, to a lot of people, I am recognized as Titus O'Neil.
Yeah.
And they call me Titus if they don't have a personal relationship with me. But that's what I did for a living. It's not who I am for a living. It's just interchangeable.
Yeah.
But it's just like, you know, Denzel Washington's not, you know, the same guy. I mean, he's Denzel Washington. He's not the character that he played in Training Day.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I think just understanding the power of just being able to collectively bring people together to get things done has been my goal literally since high school. You know,
it's a superpower of yours.
Yeah. And I thank God for it. You know, it's one of those things where I was very insignificant to a lot of people when I was younger. And now
they're knocking on your
door. I'm very significant. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, I'm sure you've got a long memory too. So, okay, I'm going to fast forward the rest of your football career because I think there's so much rich content to get to afterwards. So you spent some time in the Arena League and then you joined the WWF. Sorry, WWE.
Yes.
I remember the WWWF, which is the predecessor of WWF. So I'm old enough to remember those. And I grew up in the town next door to where it's from. I grew up in Darien, Connecticut. It's in Stanford.
Wow. Yeah.
So I know that company pretty well from my childhood. But so you had to build this character, and we have an audience of business owners. And the building of a character is the building of a brand.
Yes.
Which is the same thing a business owner has to do with their company. So just walk me through like the building and sustaining this Titus O'Neil brand.
Yeah, I think a large part of building any brand is, the core of who you are and what your brand represents.
Yeah.
Um, there are a lot of people out there that are marketing things that they don't actually live. And I'm not one of those
Yeah.
people. And I think that the most successful businesses out there are the ones that are brilliant at the basics. You know, what do you do well? And execute that at a high, high level. And I think as far as people are concerned, being able to build a brand and may not possibly have certain skill sets is not a crime, because that's the reason why God gives us vision.
Mm.
He gives us vision to be able to create clarity to those around us. I always think that empowered people should empower people.
Right.
And there are a lot of business owners that some are very micromanaging, and then there are some that are very team oriented and team building. Like, hey, I'm not very good at technology, but this guy is, or this lady is. I'm not very good at putting together spreadsheets, but I got somebody on my team that's amazing at it.
Right.
And you be fine with that. Like, I'm fine with what I'm not good at.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Some people feel like they need to be all and know all. And that is not that is not, in my opinion, the secret to building a successful brand. It's knowing who you are at your core.
Yes.
And then placing things around you, or people around you, or assets around you that accentuate who you are at your core.
I totally agree. I've been hiring people who are smarter than me my entire career.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that hard for me to find people who are smarter than me, but and my goal is always be a lever.
Yeah.
Just put incredibly smart, talented people around me to fill the gaps. I have a lot of gaps, and I do the one thing that I do well, and let them really flourish. And if I can be a lever, that's the biggest compliment that I can ever get. So you became a global brand ambassador. I think it was in 2020 for WWE, and that's that scale, that influence, that platform. Like, what did you learn in the building of the character, and now in your role here, about influence and about platform?
Again, it's not something that I was like striving for.
Sure.
Like, we've only had one global ambassador in the years that this company has existed, and that's me.
Incredible.
And it was, I think, at the time, a tip of the hat to what I've done outside of the ring, but also to how I represented the brand of WWE and how I encouraged others in the company to go out and utilize their platform. And it doesn't have to necessarily be in alignment with what we're doing from a company standpoint. Like, Sami Zayn came to me, several years back, and he's like, I don't want to get any heat for this, but I want to do something for my people in Syria. And I was like, well, Sammy, honestly, if you get heat for doing something good for people, then I think me and you at that point are working for the wrong company. And he started it. He started his deal, and then there are other people that are very passionate about certain nonprofits that are, say animals, shelters, dog shelters, like they're dog people. Like, I'm a dog person. I have 4 French bulldogs.
Okay, there you go. There you go.
So I think for me, just the authenticity that I live with is refreshing to a lot of people. Like, people know, that guy literally doesn't, he's going to say what's on his mind, and he's not being rude. He's being honest. And in a world like today, like, there's a huge difference between being rude and being honest. And I think sometimes folks, and there's also a way that you can deliver the truth without it being rude.
Right.
And I think that, in today's society, everybody wants to be on one side or the other of what's right and wrong.
Yeah.
And I've never been that guy. What's right is right. What's wrong is wrong. I don't care if you're black, white, Christian, Muslim. If you're right, I'm there with you, and you're right. If you're wrong, you're wrong. And a lot of people don't want to take accountability for the wrongs, which subsequently shows me what kind of leader they are in their home, shows me what kind of leader they are in their business,
Yeah.
shows me what kind of teammate they are, even in a pickup game of basketball.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. My bad, you know.
Yeah. That's on me.
Why didn't you
yeah.
cut? Well,
Yeah. You threw a horrible pass,
Right.
bro. I'm
Yeah, exactly.
6'6". How could you throw the ball over my head?
Right.
Like, it's like, and yeah. So it's just like, people always ask me, like, what do I want to leave my children with? I have three kids, 2 sons that play at the University of Florida, and then my daughter that plays basketball, and she just committed to go to transfer to Northern Arizona University. She's at UMass now.
Oh, Amherst. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw Dr. J at your tournament.
Yeah,
Another UMass Amherst guy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, when I went up to visit with her, I FaceTimed him, Dr. J, and I was like, hey, we're in a place that might look familiar to you. And yeah, he was excited that he was looking at going there, and that she actually went to. But what would I want to leave my kids with? A voice.
Mm.
I want to leave my kids with a voice, and that voice comes from my last name. I think that the greatest gift that I could ever give my family is a great last name.
Yeah. That means something.
Yes. Because growing up, my last name didn't mean much of anything. And now, knowing for generations to come, my kids can walk into certain spaces. Oh, you're Thaddeus' son. Oh, you're Thaddeus' daughter. Oh, come right in.
Yeah.
Or, hey, I need a favor for, my Thaddeus' daughter or Thaddeus' son. They need an internship. They need this. They need that. If your name is bad, none of that stuff's going to happen for your kids.
No.
Unless you got a ton of money.
Incredible amount. It does tend to solve a lot of problems.
Yeah. I don't want to be that guy that has to spend money.
Right.
I have enough relational currency with people that I feel like I should be able to make a phone call with everything that I do for so many other people, that every once in a while when I really need to get something done for my kids or for myself, it should not be an issue.
And they should want to hire that kid because they know what they're getting, right? Because they're getting a younger version of you, and that.
But they also know, if I'm still alive, and they give my kid that opportunity, they know me.
Yeah,
I'm not one of those. Oh, there's no way my son would have said that. Oh, there's no way my son would have did that. Oh, he was late a couple of times. Just give him some grace.
Right.
No, I will I will be worse on my kids than they ever will be.
Yeah,
because it's not how I raised them.
Right. And it reflects on you.
Yes.
Especially when you make that phone call.
Yep.
Right. So now you spend a lot of time in the community. You walk kids to school, make sure they're fed. You've helped hundreds of athletes get into college. I mean, you've done so much work. Do you see yourself in these kids? Is that what kind of drives you?
Yeah.
Your story in them?
Yeah. 1,000%.
Yeah.
I always tell folks, like elderly and youth, I could be around them all day.
Yeah.
They're the most honest and transparent, real people.
Yeah.
You pick a 6 or 7-year-old kid up and you start talking to him and he's like, oh, I don't want to talk to you. Your breath stinks.
That's great.
and the elderly will tell you the same thing.
And there's no agenda.
Yeah.
They just
want to. And they both will share the same story with you 50 times, over and over again, because that's, as a kid, they're highlighting and illustrating their dreams and their goals. And then when you get older, they're reliving their dreams and their greatest memories. So you're going to hear those stories over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And, I've come to discover that even though you've heard that story before, it's best to let them go ahead and just get it out, because they're reliving a memory.
Yeah.
Or they're encouraging a dream. And these kids, whether they come from an affluent background or underserved background, they all resonate with real. And I think some of their parents are protecting them a lot from the realities of things. Some people also give them the raw, hey, we just don't have the money. And here's why we don't have the money. But it's very difficult as a parent to be able to continuously tell your kid, I can't afford that. You know, most fathers and most mothers will go to the end of earth to try to get their kids' desires and wants, but they're still struggling to try to figure out their needs. Lights, cable, food, clothing. And so for me, it's like I'll never be able to pay back the folks that poured into me in various ways. Many of them don't know me from Adam and Eve. They just wrote a check to the Florida Chairs Boys Ranch, or they wrote a check to the Boys and Girls Club, and they just wanted to help kids.
Yeah.
They never came on campus. They never participated in any camps. They never did. They just were financial supporters.
They didn't know you were one of the kids.
Yeah, they didn't know I was one of the kids. So I always tell folks, people say, how do you find so much time to help so many people?
Yeah.
My response is like, how can I not? Like, I'm technically not even supposed to be here.
Right.
I'm the product of a sexual assault. My mom could have made a decision either way, and she chose to make that decision. And by all means, I'm not telling and labeling myself as the poster child of pro-choice or pro-life. Like, my mom made a decision.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think people really need to understand. My mom made a decision. Not the government.
Right.
Not family members. My mother, who's a woman, was able to make her own decision. And we're having political battles about people that may have to make a very unfortunate circumstantial decision, not because they don't want the baby, not because it was a oopsie moment or whatever. It's the difference between life and death, or whether or not I'm going to lose my wife.
Yeah.
Or the mother is going to have, significant issues, if she carries out this birth. Or the baby is going to have significant issues if they carry out this baby.
Yeah.
And so I like to say all the time, guys, like I'm an anomaly. Everybody's not going to turn out the way that I did.
Yeah.
Especially with the circumstances that I had to come through and go through.
It was a unique cocktail, right? Of like a lot of grit and determination, but also the help from a lot of people.
It was a huge village
Yeah.
of people, strangers,
Right.
life moments that happened at the right time for me. Like, all the stars aligned, but at the end of the day, I still had to make a decision. My mom still had to make a decision.
Yes. Right.
The people at the Boys Ranch still had to make a decision.
Yeah.
And so it's a life full of decisions that were made that fortunately worked out for me. I have people that grew up with me under similar circumstances that did not result the same. Some of them are dead or are in jail and will be in jail for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
I saw you probably saw a picture on social media, Vince Wilfork.
Yeah, of course. I sat at his table. He was at the same table at the dinner.
Yes. His mother, Barbara Wilfork, was our family counselor. His mother, if she did not get in her car and drive to the sheriff's office in Palm Beach County and speak with the sheriff directly to get my name skipped up on the top of the list to go to the Boys Ranch, which the list is thousands of names long, still to this day, I wouldn't be sitting in this seat in this position.
Wow.
So you sat at a table with one of my childhood friends, and who has obviously went on to do some very amazing things, played at the U. That's the only thing I hold against him.
He played on a team that was about the best of all time, touching the talent.
Yeah. But you're looking at someone that, from my childhood, it's one of very few people from my childhood that we can look and say, man, look at what God has done in our life. And I know he's had his set of circumstances and failures and setbacks. I mean, he lost his mom and his dad within 6 months of each other. So when I talk about, like, that's part of the story that I never really get a chance to talk about. Like who was the? I mean, my mom's the first domino in my life because without her decision, I wouldn't be here. And then Barbara Wilfork, you know, rest in peace. She was the second domino that really moved the needle for me.
Wow.
And
incredible
to be able to you know, pick up the phone and call Vince and have him come down from Houston and be a part of my first ever, you know, golf tournament. And we just sit there and we just talk about different things. Very, very special for me. And so when I talk about relational currency, it's like relationships to me are everything. My relationship with Tyrus, you know, and even how me and him met. You know, we met at Coop's Catch, which I've been supporting for several years. Coach Coop's a great friend of mine, and Benchmark, you know, International now becomes the naming partner of the arena, and great partners with the Lightning, looking to get more involved in the community. Elizabeth Frazier was like, I've been wanting to connect you guys for the longest.
Because of your names.
Because of your names,
Right.
And it's like,
that's great.
And he's a Gator.
He is.
And his wife, you know, Monique is amazing, and just you know, I get asked to be on a lot of podcasts. And I do a significant amount of no's now. And used to be, I used to be like, oh yeah.
Right.
Now it's like, no, I'm not. I'm not doing it. But because of what Benchmark is looking to do in the community, and how they want to utilize their platform for good, it was a very easy yes for me. But you know, Titus O'Neil sounds like a hell of a tag team.
It does.
You know?
It does.
And I did want to go on record by saying, like, I'm just incredibly proud of how not only you guys were able to secure the naming rights for the upcoming years, but what you're trying to do as far as cementing a legacy in the community with various organizations that I support, and even those that I don't support. The fact that I think that any business that comes here, and Benchmark has obviously been here for years, nobody just didn't know, including myself. Didn't even know they existed.
We kept it that way. That was intentional.
Okay. Well, it's the worst kept secret ever now.
Now, well, this is our coming out party. Well, we're excited to be here, and I think it was you know, our announcement to the world that hey, this is our home, and we want to make sure, because we have 17 offices. We're on 3 continents. Like we're across the globe, but Tampa is our headquarters, and we've never really like rooted ourselves here, at least publicly. And it was time for us to say, hey, like, we are Tampa, and we love this place. So that's, I mean, that's why we did
think the naming rights too, like it's so big. Like I think about all the times I performed in Amalie Arena. And now, you know,
sorry, what was that? I don't remember that name.
It was something like that.
I'm joking.
They
were a wonderful sponsor.
They were an amazing sponsor and an amazing family. You know, I'm very good friends with their family too. So, but just how crazy it is that like the last time WWE was here, it was Benchmark International, and now we're going to be here again for our upcoming pay-per-view and Backlash, which is like our signature post WrestleMania event.
Okay.
And you know, it's happening here May 9th.
Okay. Nice.
And so it'll be brought, it's just cool to see the folks that I get a chance to hang out with away from business, away from community stuff, this and that, to see their company like on a global stage, you know, because WWE, it doesn't get bigger than that.
No.
I mean, the Super Bowl doesn't get bigger than that.
No.
So like every time we emanate from Benchmark International Arena, anything, it's great for the business. It's great for branding. It's great for, but it's also too like a time where I'll be like, so y'all see Benchmark, you know, y'all see where it's at, right? It's in Tampa. You know?
We love it.
We're the greatest city in the world.
Love that.
Yeah,
and I think we all agree on that front. So I've seen you at every hockey game. I've seen you at every football game. It's you know, and you're running around from suite to suite, and You always have time to shake a hand and take a picture. You always engage with people. Where do you get that incredible energy still? I mean, I can't do that. I'll be 53 next month. I mean, I work out every day, and I can't
I'll be 49
do it.
tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah. Well, there you go. Happy birthday.
It does get exhausting sometimes.
Yeah, has to.
But at the same token, you're talking to a guy that at one point nobody wanted to talk to.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted to see coming in the door. Oh God. Now everybody's excited about seeing me come in the door. And I'm excited to see everybody. I think, again, relational, like if I can put a smile on a kid's face or a guy's face that I know he's a grown man, but he's like still living out his dreams through something I did.
Yeah.
Or just a simple, man, I really appreciate everything you do for the community. Like all those things are God winks to me.
Yeah.
Like, well done, my good and faithful servant. Well done, my good and faithful servant. Well done, my good and faithful servant. And I think that like, I'm not a religious person. I believe in God. I believe in Jesus Christ. God may look different to other people.
Yeah.
And I've discovered that, there are people that believe in Allah.
Yeah.
There are people that believe in Buddha. There are people that believe in the stars, and this cup is God.
Sure.
Whatever faith that people are rooted in, if it results in you being a better human being, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
And I've seen people that are Christians that are horrible human beings. Evangelicals, Catholics, what's going on with the abuse in the Catholic Church. Nobody signs up for that.
Right.
But at the end of the day, that's not all Catholics. That's not all Christians. That's not all Muslims. That's not all, you can't lump. That's just like I get so infuriated when I see like certain clips of, some form of police brutality. And I have a great relationship with law enforcement, not just here in Tampa, but throughout the state of Florida and beyond. I have a great admiration for them. I used to be a guy that I ran from the law because of what I saw in my neighborhoods.
Yeah.
And I understood, like, hey, if I get pulled over, this could be the end. That's what I was raised to think. But if one police officer or a couple police officers does something heinous, that doesn't make all police officers bad.
Right.
If one doctor who you never even heard of goes and does some type of malpractice, that doesn't make all doctors bad.
Right.
If a teacher does something inappropriate, that doesn't make all teachers bad. And I think sometimes in religious situations, people completely forget about relationship. And the relationship should not necessarily just come down to who you are with these earthly people.
Right.
But my relationship with God tells me to love all people. I can't bash the gays. My aunt was gay, and I watched my family members tear her apart, which was crazy to me because she was the only successful person in my family. We'd be at her house every holiday.
Wow.
She worked for IBM. She had a very, very good job, very beautiful home, and people were sitting in the home talking shit about my aunt. Excuse my language.
But, yeah, it's crazy.
So there are people in my family that I still have not spoken to till this day because of how they treated my aunt. And so when folks are like, you're an advocate for the lesbian and gay community, but why, do you think that conflicts with your religious beliefs? I say, I don't have any religious beliefs. I have a relationship with God that tells me to love people because people love me and because he died for me and he died for my sins just like Jesus died for everyone else's. That's what I believe. Everybody may not believe that, and that's okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't change how I'm going to treat this person.
Right.
What will change how I treat this person is if you're bullying somebody, I'm going to bully your ass.
That's right.
Because I hate bullies.
Yeah.
I grew up getting bullied.
Sure.
If you're being disrespectful to people, I'm going to be disrespectful to you. that's how that's inherently in me.
You're gonna hold the mirror up. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, we can all get along. We really can.
Yeah.
I don't care that you like pineapple on your pizza. I don't.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I want to stay on the record.
Yeah.
The only proper pizza is a cheese pizza.
Yeah.
I'm from Connecticut. So
See, but that was from Colony Grill.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that would, y'all owe me like, I don't know, several events to be sponsored Colony Grill for mentioning you on that.
My
but
guys.
But they actually support my foundation too.
Good.
They're very very philanthropic.
Paul and Chris Dury.
Yeah,
those guys.
They're awesome. And they're out there at the Back to School Bash every year. They're at Raymond James Stadium. They're at my Christmas event too.
Yeah.
So we're good. We're good. Colony Grill.
All righty.
But what I was getting to was, we could have that debate and not fight each other.
Right.
We
used to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we can.
You and I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
All people can't. Why?
Great question.
Like
social media, echo chambers.
Yeah.
Only are fed content that resonates with them, and no other prevailing ideas.
Yeah. But like, it's like, you have folks that talk about like water cooler talk.
Yeah.
Right? Or locker room talk. Well, I feel like every business is a locker room.
Yeah.
And every locker room has a water cooler.
Yeah.
So if you're like trying to build a team, like if anybody's ever played sports at any level, it is never a conversation in that locker room about how much money you make, what kind of clothes you wear,
right?
Where'd you come from? It's about learning one another to the point where you can be a good teammate.
Yeah.
The winning teams, the losing teams, you got guys that are flashy with this, flashy with that, this and that, whatever. Talk about, the parties they went to the night before, or the club and this and that. Then you got somebody else that probably make more money than the one that's going out partying. And they're talking about spending time with their family and going to Disney World and et cetera. So it's like,
and that money's in an account building somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. But it doesn't stop them from going out and playing together.
Right.
We literally are having people in society stopping the ability to play together because of our differences. So it tells me tells me a lot about like who you are as a family person. Because I don't like all of my uncles or my aunts.
Yeah.
I don't like some of my cousins.
Sure.
If we have a family reunion, we have a family reunion.
Right.
I know how to pop in, pop out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
When it's time to get out.
Yeah.
I get that.
But I'm just not going to not show up. It's a family reunion.
Yeah, it makes total sense.
Mm-hmm.
So we've really covered a lot of ground here, but I don't think we've talked enough about some of the other things that you're involved in. So you are a Tampa advocate for sure. You're a philanthropist. You're an investor. Let's talk about the Bullard Family Foundation. So I was fortunate to play in the golf tournament. I was paired with Bryant McKinney.
Yes.
Another guy from the U. I'm 6'1" and a change in about 235 to 240.
He made you look like a kid too.
I look like a little child. He
Same
blots
here.
out the sun. He's 6'9", 360, and he's pretty lean.
Yeah.
There's a picture of me, and I look. He's like he should be patting me on the head as a little little guy, enormous guy. But what a great tournament first year. I'm happy to sponsor that. Talk about the foundation, what the mandate is. What are you trying to accomplish with that?
Well, our biggest goal is to help those in underserved areas with resources, moments, and really try to help people become more self-sufficient. And we do a bevy of things, not just for underserved families, but, families that are dealing with cancer. I've, helped with funerals. I've, helped with scholarships to get, kids that needed that extra money to get into school. We supported them. We still support them to this day. There's a public school now that bears my name on it that we've transformed from an F school to almost a B school in a very short period of time.
Can you talk a bit about that? It's weird to put your name on a school while you're still alive.
I didn't write a big check to do it.
Not having to write a big check. And also, I mean, there's a lot to to live up to. Having
Yeah.
your name on a school, especially one that's ascending, like you've helped
Yeah.
it to ascend. I
Mhm.
mean, it creates a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, when I first it does.
Most folks have the good sense to die first and then have their name on a
Yeah,
school, right? So they
yeah.
don't have to do anything
Well, I
afterwards.
didn't even know that my name was gonna be put on the school. It was something
Yeah.
that the district and some leaders in the community, they kinda made it happen, and it has a lot less to do with what I just did at that school individually and more about what I did, um, collectively for the school district. I mean, I run the largest back to school bash in the world, at Raymond James
Yeah.
Stadium,
Yeah.
and been doing it now for almost 9 years. But this school in particular, Sligh Middle Magnet School, which is now called the Thaddeus and Bullard Academy at Sligh Middle Magnet School, God led me there in 2014.
Hmm.
I started doing birthday parties for kids that couldn't afford to have birthday parties because I never had a birthday
Yeah.
party. Then that morphed into a Champions of Character program where I would honor those that uh, were not honor roll students, but they had academic increases because everybody's not an academician. Some
Right.
people are just not really good test takers.
Yeah.
And also to those that had perfect attendance. So we would get everybody together. I'd get a big sheet cake from Publix, and I usually would get like PDQ or some other people to sponsor with chicken tenders and stuff like that. And we have this big birthday party, and everybody that had a birthday would be on, including the staff, would be on one side of the cake, and then everybody else would sing happy birthday to them because that might be the only time that they got happy birthday sang to them, and they got an actual cake, not a cupcake, not
Right.
a cookie or whatever.
Yeah.
It was actual cake that we were able to celebrate.
That's
And I would
quality
bring
cake too, by the way. Publix makes a quality cake.
They make an amazing cake. And so as time went on, one day I couldn't sleep. I was on the road most of the time, 3 to 5 days a week during with my highest run at WWE. So I was only home like Wednesday, half of Wednesday, all of Thursday, and then I'd leave back out on Friday. And so I had this routine where I wake up in the morning, I wake up at 4:30, I work out at 5:15, 5:30.
What I do.
And then I'll go out, I go back to the house, get my kids ready, take them to school, and then go about whatever it is I need to do to run my errands, dry cleaning, packing, etc. And one day God said, well, I couldn't sleep one night and I went and worked out. It was a 24-hour gym, still a 24-hour gym off of 41 called Sky Athletics. And so I got there at like 3 in the morning, worked out. God said, go to Sligh. It's about 4:15 in the morning. And so I drove to Sligh. I sat in this area in the parking lot, and I sat there for like 15, 20 minutes and just kind of meditated, was listening to gospel music, and went back, got the boys, took them to school. And then each week for about 6 weeks, I would do that same thing. I would wake up early, go work out, and then I'd drive a bigger perimeter of the school, a bigger perimeter thing, not knowing that it was the 6th highest zip code for kids living in poverty in the state of Florida until like God just started showing me things. So then I would do the same thing on campus, and I would walk the campus, and God said, you would do this, and you're going to do this, and you're going to build. So then I started like building out this vision. And I had a meeting with the school district. I called the superintendent and said I had this crazy idea about how I want to change the school around. It's getting ready to get shut down anyway. What's the worst that can happen? And there's a school in Atlanta called the Ron Clark Academy, and they have a house system there. And his house system is based on Harry Potter.
Oh, cool.
So all of his houses are like Harry Potter houses. I don't know nothing about Harry Potter.
I have daughters. They know. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But
And so I wanted our administration from the elementary school and the middle school to go up and learn the house system and bring it back. But our house system is based on the word pride because there was zero pride there. There's no reason to be proud for that. It was buildings were
crumbling.
Yeah, and it was horrible.
Yeah.
And so our 5 houses are positivity, respect, innovation, determination, and excellence. And everybody on campus is in a house, from the students to the staff, to the janitorial staff, the kitchen staff, the teachers, everybody. And it's all about accountability and competition.
Wow.
And so we instituted that in 2019. and had a 67-point increase, which was the highest in the school in the entire school district of 255 schools.
Wow.
We went from an F school to a C+ school in 1 year.
Incredible.
And then COVID hit and things transformed for everybody for a bit. But then we got back out of the hole, and now we've been a C+ or higher, pushing close to a B.
That's
but
awesome.
We also have a turf field and a track, which we had no track, no field there at all.
Wow.
We have an entire academy wing where there's a production studio in there that will rival any production studio in town. It's got an LED volume in it, a LED volume screen in it. So we do a live TV show from there. We do promo videos from there, etc.
That's incredible.
I have a Zen Den there, which is all built around mental health and wellness. So we have equine therapy, art therapy, puppy therapy, music therapy every week for the kids and for the staff. There's a STEM lab there now as well. So we have 3 robotics teams, including 1 all-female robotics team.
That's awesome.
Mind you, this is the only school in the district with 100% free and reduced lunch kids.
Wow.
And when I got there in 2014, the high school graduation rate was 24%. It is now 88%.
Wow.
In a very short period of time, lives have continuously been changed. I'm on my third high school graduating class, and many of the kids that went to school either got a trade and got a great paying job, or they're still in college. Valencia just texted me, one of my students that she's in school at FAMU.
That's awesome. Up in Tallahassee, yeah.
And so I like to call it my church.
Yeah.
Because it's where
church is community, right? I mean, that's one of the big parts of church is community.
Yeah, without all the religious connotations behind it, I can bring people from all walks of life, and people from all walks of life have literally gone on that campus. When COVID hit and nobody had anywhere to work out at, you had 40 plus NFL players on that football field working out.
Wow.
Because all the facilities were closed.
Yeah.
So Jameis Winston and Rob Gronkowski and you would regularly see them on the campus in the middle of the hood.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So
how cool is that?
Yeah.
So one side we don't get from you, at least publicly, as much as the other sides. They kind of dominate. Is the investor side. Just talk about your investment philosophy.
Yeah. So I'm an investor in Next Level Brands. We have 3 restaurant concepts right now: Forbici, Union, New American, and Bullard downtown.
Yeah.
We're getting ready to open up a Forbici over in St. Pete as well.
All right. That's my
I love
turf.
to eat. Yeah.
Okay.
I love to eat. And so
I would think to maintain your size, you're probably 4,000 calories a day.
I don't even know that I've hit that.
No?
I just like food, but I don't think I hit 4 calories. I may hit it on occasion, but it's not a consistent, like, I got to get it in.
Got to get my protein in, yeah.
Yeah. Like I intermittent fast a lot too.
Okay.
So like when I get done here, it'll be my first meal. And I may not eat again till later, and then that might be the only 2 meals I eat. But I invested in because I believed in Jeff Gigante, who had been very successful restaurateur for years in the Chichia group.
Sure. And
we connected years ago. We were actually both at a summit with Ryan Neese out in the valley, and we were being introduced to Impossible Foods.
Sure.
And
vegetarian since I was 4, so I know Impossible well. Yeah.
And so we had a chance to go out there and meet with the founder and president and stuff like that, and ended up getting into that venture as well. And then most recently, View Studios is an investment that I made in 2021, I think. Now I think we have about 35 studios across the country. And, it's the replacement to green screen technology. Yeah. So it cuts production time in half. It cuts editing in half, which saves a lot of money for a lot of people. It's run on a gaming system. So that's how it helps make the editing process so much better. And it's continuously going. But we got in on that like right at 2020 because the studio was built here. We only had one volume at the time, but COVID hit. Nobody had anywhere to shoot their commercials.
Yeah.
So we started shooting commercials. We shot like 7 Super Bowl commercials there. And then obviously the word got out after that, and we blew up. It was one of the, I'm not a tech person at all, but I became a tech person.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Enough. I was a VC for 10 years. I didn't,
Mhm.
I'm not a tech guy either.
Yeah.
I always
Yeah.
looked at the market opportunity. How big's the market? What's
Mhm.
your team look like? Those kinds of things. And
Yeah.
it sounds like you're looking for the right kind of
Yeah.
people to back and not
Yeah.
just some crazy technology that you and I probably can't
I
understand.
couldn't work it. Yeah.
I get that. So storytelling is a superpower. I talk
Mhm.
about this a lot, and I think that's what attracted you to the WWE
Mhm.
is the ability to sort of tell a story. And business is about telling a story
Yeah.
through your brand, right?
Everything starts story first.
It does. So
everything in life is story first.
So what do you think you can sort of tell to the business owner about storytelling that might be impactful for, how they deliver to their customer?
Well, first you got to know what your story is at its core.
Yeah. Right.
Why was it founded? Why was your business founded?
Start with why.
Yeah. What motivated you? And I think a lot of times people, they confuse their purpose with their passion.
Mm,
So they go out and they start a business based on their passion.
Yeah.
And it's not part of their purpose. So for me, what's your story? What's the purpose of your business? That's where your story starts, is the purpose, not the passion. The passion may burn out over
Right.
a year or two, or too many no's, too many doors slammed in your face, too many failed situations where you close to bankruptcy, but you don't quite get there, but you just kind of looking around. Your passion is gonna take a dip, but your purpose
Right.
should always remain the core of who you are, what you represent, and the core of your story.
Yeah.
Because nobody's going to ask you what makes you so passionate about your business. They're going to ask you, what's the purpose of your business and how
Yeah.
can it help me? Your passion ain't going to mean nothing
Yeah.
until when you're selling it.
Passion is ephemeral, right? It's like
Mhm.
it's short acting.
Mhm.
It's fleeting. But purpose is something that's sustainable. It's like it's what drives you every single day.
Yeah.
They're very different things.
Yeah.
We confuse them way too much.
Mhm.
Okay, so we're closing in on sort of the end here, and this is the point where we've talked sort of about like your story and what's happened, and now we're going to talk about sort of what what you believe. These are going to
Mhm.
be your closing remarks. So,
Yeah.
what's the one belief you held early that you've completely reversed as you've aged?
At early in my life, I believe that the world is a really dark place.
Hmm. Of course. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think even now, a lot of people feel like the world is a really dark place. And it's not. It's not the world. I think there are enough people with light in them. I grew up, in the projects. And with that came roaches.
Yeah.
And as long as it was dark, the roaches were having their way. But as soon as the light comes on, those roaches scatter
Yeah.
because of light.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel like people should approach the mindset of what they feel is a dark space.
Mm.
Go be the light.
Yeah.
And watch the darkness start slowly but surely dissipating. And that light needs to be led with love. And because the love is a universal language that everyone can speak, regardless of your dialect, your background, or where you come from. It is truly the best language you can learn how to speak. So how is it not exhausting for me sometimes to go into certain spaces and hopping from suite to suite and this and that because of that relational currency and, hey, I'm here, just come by and stop by and this and that.
Yeah.
It's because of the love that I have for people.
Yeah.
And also I know that the light that I have in me, that if I show up to certain spaces, 99.9% of the time, somebody's happy to see me.
Yeah.
I think that if people want to be the light in this world, be a great human being, so that when you step into a space, 9 times out of 10, you light up that room and people smile and they're happy to see you. That's my superpower.
Yeah.
That's my belief, is that I'm the light of the world. Because I was told for years that I was the darkness.
Right.
I would never be and how I never do. And I'm not the only one out there. There are business leaders that were told, you'll never do this. There are people that are working for these business leaders that have these amazing ideas, and they're feeling like, maybe this is not for me, or maybe this is for me to give to somebody else. Well, God gives us all gifts, and he all gives us all vision. And I believe that whatever vision has come on my life, that God wouldn't have gave it to me if it wasn't possible to make it true. So for anybody out there, whether you're a business owner, a business leader, someone that is looking to be in that space, be a good steward of what you have now.
Yeah.
God is faithful. He who is faithful with the little will avail in the much. If you can't ask for a new car and your car looks like crap now.
Right.
You can't ask for a new home and you can't even manage the stuff that's going on in your home now. God's not going to give you bigger until you learn that you can prove to be better for what you have, because that's where the increase comes. No business grows based on name alone.
Right.
It is the people you hire, and it's the purpose that you live with, and the unapologetic authenticity about who you are as a brand. And you don't care. It's where the competitive nature comes in. You don't care what other business opens up around the corner from you. You just focus on what you do well.
Yeah.
And you empower those people around you to continue to make those things do well. And you'll end up scaling your business 10,000 times greater when you're not worried about the competition. You should look at them. You should be like, oh, okay, you're here. You think that Burger King is worried about McDonald's opening up across the street? They're both in the real estate business.
Yeah. Right.
They're both selling fast food.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care if, if another person signs a WWE contract and they just so happen to look my same size and be my same size, I'm my own brand.
Right.
I focus on myself.
Yeah.
I control what I can control. And at the end of the day, life is predetermined by God. But your fate in business sometimes is predetermined by you. It's literally, how are you showing up? How efficient are you? And how open are you to suggestions from the people that you employ? Everybody can't be wrong.
Right.
Right.
That's right.
If everybody's wrong, you're a horrible leader.
Yeah, that's right.
Horrible head coach.
Not a very good teacher.
Yeah.
And you sort of, I think, broached that the next question I was going to ask is about what would be the recommendation or guidance you provide to a business owner who's about to go through maybe the biggest decision of their life, to sell their business. And you've sort of covered a little of that already,
Mm-hmm.
right? Sort of lean into your core, what you
Mm-hmm.
do really, really well. Anything else you'd want to add to that?
Yeah, I would just say, if all deal, which they know this by now, but all deals are not great deals.
Yeah.
But all great deals that pertain to what you started with, you feel like you can hand it over to someone that can increase it. You've gone as far as you can go.
Right.
And you've been very successful at how far you can go. Take that money and go.
Yeah.
Because you started with nothing.
Yeah.
So it's got to be some type of point in your life where, like, the reward of being able to wake up and do whatever you want to do, not what you're obligated to do.
Right. Yeah.
Has to become appealing.
Definitely.
I like playing golf.
Yeah.
I like waking up knowing I can go and play golf when I want to play golf.
Yeah.
And I still have goals. And who knows, maybe God's transitioning you out of one space and selling this.
Right.
And giving you this pocket of wealth and clarity and a clear mind that you don't have to worry about payroll, and you don't have to worry about insurance, and you don't have to worry about all these things, so that you can go and start some other crazy ass idea. you know?
That's right.
And then follow that circle a whole again, but you're giving you
Yeah.
a new passion to do something different.
And purpose and all the things you learned and along the way, you apply to
Mhm.
this new endeavor. So last question, and it's the last question I ask everybody. What's the next chapter for Thaddeus Bullard?
The next chapter for Thaddeus Bullard is undefined.
Okay.
And the reason why I say that is because I used to get asked all the time, like, what's your 5-year plan? And God be like,
We're changing that. Yeah, that's sorry.
yeah,
I take that out.
horrible. Yeah. All right. Where you see yourself in the next 10 years? Yeah.
You're gonna dump all this.
Yeah. Like I know that there are some things I'm going to accomplish. Like I'm moving into film and TV and stuff like that.
Okay.
Like I want to do that full time, and I'll have opportunities there. But I feel like that's just another caveat for God to continue to elevate me to other parts of my purpose.
Mm.
Like that's the beauty of where I'm at in life. You know, I'm 1 year away from being 50 years old. I'm 49, April 29th. And at 39, I really said, it's out of my control. Because I walked into the back of Florida Championship Wrestling not knowing a damn thing about wrestling, except for what I watched on TV.
Yeah.
And 2 weeks after that, this is 2 weeks prior to me getting a divorce and getting denied a high school coaching job here in Tampa at Chamberlain High School that I was overly qualified for.
Of course.
And only to 2 weeks after that, me be signed and learning how to become a WWE superstar. And now I'm in the WWE Hall of Fame as a Warrior Award recipient.
Wow.
I couldn't have told you that
Correct.
that was my 5-year plan.
That wasn't the plan.
I couldn't have told you that there's no continent that I would not have touched. There's
Right.
not one state that I haven't ventured to. There's
Wow.
not one Super Bowl, like not one major event that I haven't gone to. So I'm just happy that I have an opportunity to just do and live out what God is calling me to do.
Right.
So if anyone's looking at like, oh, well, this big nugget of information about like, oh, well, he said 5 years ago he was going to do X, Y, and Z.
Right.
Man, listen, I could have told you I was going to do something 5 years ago, and it has increased tenfold than what I even told you then.
Sure.
When I told people that I wanted to have a back to school bash, I'd never had any idea that it would become the largest in the world.
Incredible.
When I told people that I wanted to transform a middle school, normally that's just giving school supplies and bringing donuts and this and that. Man, we got uniforms. We got all kinds. It looks like a private school.
You're not anti-donuts, though. I just want to make sure we get on the
I'm
record.
not anti-donuts.
Okay, good. That's
yeah, I'm not anti-sweets at all.
Okay, good. I want to make sure we capture that. I don't want the coalition of coming after you.
No, not absolutely not. But I feel like when you start truly walking in your purpose, and you just want to do what God's called you to do, He knows our needs, He knows our desires, and He'll always meet our needs. But He also gives us some of the desires of our heart if it's in line with what is on the will of His life for us. As long as it's in His will, your desires are there. But if God thinks that this is going to deter him or her from where I want him to be or her to be, 9 times out of 10, that desire won't be satisfied.
Yeah.
But it's because He's got something bigger for you. So I'm just operating in the bigger. I want to help more people because at this point in my life, success is not my goal. Like I've done that.
Yeah.
10,000 times.
You've checked
over.
that box enough.
Significance is.
Yeah.
When I leave this earth, I want my legacy to be that he was a great man. He helped a lot of people, and he was real as fuck.
That's right. That's right.
And that is my out for this interview.
I love it. I love it. Well, listen, I can't wait to see this chapter as it evolves, as it plays out. It looks like it's not written yet, which is really, really exciting. So thank you for coming in. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
And remember, in business and in life, the best outcomes aren't found. They're built. Thad Bullard was our guest today, and what an episode. Thaddeus Bullard grew up in poverty in Florida, labeled by the system as a kid who'd be dead or in jail by 16. He became a top high school football recruit, played at the University of Florida under Coach Spurrier, served as student body vice president, earned 2 degrees, and then played professionally in the Arena League before signing with the WWE. He was named their global ambassador about 6 years ago. He's the only one. The Hall of Fame inducted him with the Warrior Award. A school in Tampa bears his name. His Bullard Family Foundation has transformed Sligh Middle Magnet School into an educational and community hub, serving one of the city's most underserved zip codes. He's put gifts in the hands of more than 15,000 children every year for over a decade. As an investor, an author, a philanthropist, and one of the most consequential people in Tampa. That story was not preordained. He happens to be one of the very few people who are truly self-made, a result of focus, grind, intent, and incredible efforts.